Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the things I noticed in the Tears of the Kingdom trailer. I'm going to be going over each scene pretty much image by image, and I haven't watched any other analysis trailers, so I can just go in with my raw thoughts. Also, I wanted to mention that the trailer shows quite a bit, but it goes by so fast that you might not notice it or be able to put everything together. So if you don't want to see spoilers, you probably want to click out of this video. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so in the first shot, we get to see the Sky Islands and the ground below. The main thing I thought about was the fact that there's a lot more Sky Islands than we thought. And then we got to see a closer up shot of the Sky Islands. The main thing I saw was the construct fighting the Choo Choo Jelly, which I thought was pretty funny. And then we got this scene of a construct chopping down a tree, which made me think that they can actually do quite a bit. Next, we got to see Link diving from the sky with that epic music, and there was one part where we got a better look at the big temple structure in the sky. We get another look at Link gliding through the sky with the land below. Here's Link running through Hyrule. There's that big circle in the distance. There's those Zonai rocks. I think they're shrines just because they're everywhere, and then there's green swirls sometimes around them, and then sometimes they're not, so deactivated state and then an activated state. They finally showed Hatina Village up close. I'm not exactly sure what these are. I think they're new shops, but yeah, there's a few changes in here. Now this scene where Link is walking through Hyrule Town with these tents is pretty interesting because we've seen Hyrule Castle go up into the sky, but it looks like we'll be able to play the game with the castle on the ground. Alright, now we get a better look at Kakariko Village. There's one of those Zonai shrines, there's that big circle I was talking about, and then you can see Hyrule Castle in the background. Here's Typhlo Ruins without the darkness covering it. We've got a good look of the cyclone above Heber Mountains. Next they show a few shots of Gerudo Desert. Then we see what looks like to be Arbiter's Grounds rising from the sand. Then we see Hyrule Castle rising from the ground and the sky rocks falling. This made me think of the fact that Ganondorf might be using his powers to reveal the Sky Islands. And then there's also the Hylians, which are looking at Hyrule Castle. I'm not exactly sure where this is. Now we finally get a look at Ganondorf and the Blood Moon up close. Some people think that this looks like Calamity Ganon. It's Ganondorf. I mean, if you look at the other shot, he's wearing the same clothes. Also, he's probably rehydrating. They finally fully show Link missing Zelda and her falling, but at the very end, you not only see the middle of Zelda glowing, you also see her hand, which kind of is hinting at the Triforce. Here we get to see another look at Gerudo Desert. There's a bunch of sinking holes all around, and there's also a Zonai shrine you can see. Oh, and looking at it again, you can see that there's no swirl around it, but there's this green energy as like a doorway, which is, never noticed that. Next, we get to see more of the underground with lava and some building structures into the rock, and there's also mine carts that were moving in the background of this scene. Moving on, we see Link in the Cyclone, I believe, and we see all these ships flying along with the Cyclone, and you can see 4 in the shot. Then we get to see Link go into this sphere of water, which, it could hint at underwater exploration, but we don't know. We have Link gliding down what may be a hole with these lasers, and he's wearing this cool red outfit. In this clip we see Link pushing something, and I think it might be in that big sphere that we saw earlier. Here we see Link gliding down through a tight place. There's not much to say about this other than it looks like the labyrinths. We've got Link on his horse with a Zonai spear and some NPCs fighting some enemies. Now this is the clip where Link is rising up from the underground, it looks like. And he's got that spool from like one of the other shots in a different trailer we saw. And it seems to be attached to like his belt maybe. And then there's also a Sheikah tablet on the left, bottom left, which is like connected to the spool too, like a charger, which is kind of cool. Here we see some Zonai dude. The only thing I can say is it looks like they're like in a battle. We get this cool part where Link is on his horse. I didn't really see anything else other than maybe the thing on the bottom right is something we haven't seen before or wasn't in Breath of the Wild. This I thought was pretty cool. We see what looks to be maybe a big Zonai construct, which could be a boss. We got Link looking around through Hyrule Castle. And interestingly, we see Hyrule Castle in an undamaged state. Did they rebuild it? Is this in the past? Time travel? Who knows? Now we see Zelda in some Zonai place. And they show Link grabbing the Master Sword. There's someone talking during this part. I believe it's the person that they show in the next clip. Yeah, I think it's this person, which looks related to the Zonai. And they give this close up. And they give this close up shot of Zelda with the person's hand on her shoulder. And you can see Zelda's tear that she's wearing, but it looks like the Zonai person is also wearing maybe a tear. It might be something different, but yeah. We get Link on that plane thing. I don't know what to call it. And we also see that puzzle he was doing in a different trailer in the background. And they show Link on it with a view of the Sky Islands and Hyrule. Now they quickly show Link pairing a attack from one of the constructs with a shield fused to his sword. Now we get a up close look of that sphere I was talking about earlier. I forgot that I don't think we've seen the hole, like the circular hole in the sphere. So that's why I was thinking that one of the shots we saw earlier was this. That's why I said that. But yeah. In this scene, we see Link fighting a Goron, I believe, because we see two other ones in the background on the right. Now we see Link with Tulin, and they get launched from the top of something, and it bounces them up. Then this is just a part from that scene where we can see two ships in the background and some other floating structures. Next, we see Link pulling NPCs on a wagon that looks to be made from the Zonai Ultra Hand. Here we have Link using recall to send the rock back to the Rock Octorok. And then at the end of the same clip, we see what looks to be an entrance to a cave. Then we have Link holding his shield out with like a rocket attached to it. And he uses that to launch him up into the sky. And in this shot, there's a lot you can see, but the main thing is that Link is jumping with some anti-gravity. This was a cool scene. We saw Link fighting a construct underground on some minecarts. But the big thing I saw during this was, if you look to the kind of top right, you can see one of those routes that we saw in a previous trailer of the underground. Here's Link on some vehicle with a weapon attached to it to fight the Talus. Here we have Link on a horse with armor, and his outfit's something I don't think we've seen before. And then he has a ruby attached to his bow, which gives it like a fire bow ability. Then we have Link, who shot the Zonai thing on the Bokoblin camp, which made lasers go everywhere. We also have another shot of Link and Tulin fighting I think, ice spider, it looks like, in the cyclone. And then like quickly after they showed that spider, they showed this explosion of malice. I just paused at this part because you can't really make of what explodes with malice. Alright, getting to the end. Getting to the end. We have Zelda holding a tear, and she says something like, "I'm the only one who can do this," basically. You can also see the Master Sword in the background. Now we have the scene where Ganondorf's malice is pouring out of him, and he raises his arms, and then the malice goes into the sky into like some big cloud. Afterwards, they show enemies spawning, and I'm just mainly showing the Lionels because we haven't seen them before. Then it shows Link and the Master Sword getting consumed by malice, damaging them in the process. And then finally they show Ganondorf's arms going out, and they give the big reveal of his face. And he had like a gemstone glowing on his face, which it seems like it might be giving him powers. I don't know. Moving on, they show Link fight some creature coming out of the ground. I don't know how to really describe it. I mean, it's purple, but I don't know really what type of creature it is. And we get one final shot of Link and Tulin flying through the cyclone. Alright, now this is pretty interesting. This person, their outfit is extremely similar to Zelda's. However, the eyes are a bit different. The things she's wearing aren't exactly the same as Zelda's. So perhaps what is going on is Zelda's just wearing similar to whoever this is. Like, she knows who it is and she's just wearing what they're wearing. It could also be something like this is the type of clothes that the Zonai wear. Anyway, they imply that the person shoots this laser and kills some Madugas. Then they show this shot of Riju using her lightning ability for probably in some fight. Next, they show Link with some Hylians, a Goron, and a Gerudo. One thing to point out is he's holding a Zonai sword. And we have Link with Sidon fighting a construct. The main thing to point out is this place that they're fighting at. We've got this cool shot of Link. And then we have the champions running into battle, I would guess. And in the last frame, you can actually get a good look at Tulin and Sidon's gemstone. They didn't have them in the previous game, so I wonder what that's about. And one of the last things we get to see is Link fighting a Gleeok with a sword that we haven't seen before, I believe. And this was a pretty cool shot. And finally, we end it with Zelda holding the Master Sword. And she said something along the lines, "Link, you must find me?" Which is kind of weird and implies maybe that she's not in Hyrule. Alright, that concludes my analysis and breakdown of the final trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to get my hands on this game.